Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, I'd give a heads up about this video earlier today, and I was saying about the real cost of having the Greens in power and the Greens having any kind of say over how money should be spent. And by the word spent, I mean quite literally wasted. Now, Fergus Ewing is highlighting this, and he's saying enough is enough. Although I think for Fergus, enough was enough quite some time ago. This seems to be the straw that's finally broke the camel's back. He's saying that Harvie and Slater and all the others need to go. The Butte House Agreement has to go when you look at the numbers involved in, let's just say, upgrading one single office. It is beyond a joke. They are cutting services. They are closing things down. Nothing works. People are dying. And yet, they can waste £3.5 million upgrading one office so that it is net zero. This is the true cost of the Greens. Is it any wonder nothing in Scotland is properly funded when the Procurator Fiscal's Office upgrade cost £3.5 million just to meet a green fantasy? It's stunning, and we're going to take a look right now. Here goes. So, Harvie Yousaf should sack Scottish Greens Minister after taxpayers are billed £3.5 million to upgrade one office to net zero. £3.5 million. What an absolute waste. People are dying. We've done the reports today on councils not getting enough. We've done the reports today on the NHS failing. We've done the reports today on our crisis centres not getting the funded. And yet, one office, £3.5 million, just so a bunch of mentally ill extremists from the Greens can have a little circle jerk and feel good about themselves because they've made an office net zero. £3.5 million. It's a joke. SNP rebel Fergus Ewing has demanded that the First Minister sack Patrick Harvie and Lorna Slater after it was revealed that work to upgrade Elgin's Procurator Fiscal Office will now cost £3.5 million with the site going net zero. This is one office in one town. One. How much is it going to cost to do every government office across the whole of Scotland? It's it's billions upon billions at a time when people are dying. 25,000 people dying in a year on a waiting list for the NHS. And they can spend £3.5 million upgrading a single office. This has got to be the most immoral, unethical crime against humanity that this government has ever done. People are dying while the Greens get their little wish for a clean green office. This, if nothing else, should have people angry in the streets and demanding the Greens are stripped of power immediately. Harvie Yousaf has been urged to sack his Scottish Greens Minister after taxpayers were left with a £3.5 million bill to upgrade just one office to net zero. And it has led to more concerns being raised about plans to outlaw gas boilers across the country by 2033, which is never, ever going to happen. Zero Carbon's Building Minister Patrick Harvie has been spearheading plans to ensure that the properties in Scotland do not release emissions into the air, and we previously told how he was going to introduce punishments for those with fossil fuel heating systems after 2033. I don't think he understands what people will do to Patrick Harvie if he even attempts it. But it's been revealed that the cost of upgrading just one Victorian-era public building have skyrocketed to £3.5 million. Now, if that's ever an advert for the fact that upgrading to get to net zero is financially impossible, then I don't know what is. £3.5 million for one office, and he wants to do the whole of Scotland like this. He's a moron, we know, and I keep saying how stupid he is. But now, Look at the cost. It's economic lunacy. But then what do you expect from a man whose IQ is it's even lower than Shona Robinson's? At least she's got a qualification. He hasn't. He doesn't know anything. The price of improving insulation and installing heat pumps at the Crown Office building in Elgin in Moray has increased by more than 1 million in just a few months. And it's going to be cold. And people working in that office are going to bring in their little blowy heaters and shove them under their desks just to keep warm in the winter. Because it's a heat pump system. It won't work. In a Victorian building. Are you having a laugh? Beery, Mary, me. It will be very cold in that building. Also, don't drink the water. It'll be likely killing you with all the infections that won't have been burnt out because the water doesn't get hot enough. The project was meant to be a flagship one for the Scottish Government to prove that all properties can become net zero. Well, yes, but have you seen the cost? However, the vast cost of the construction will only worry those being forced into changing their heating systems. They won't be forced into changing your heating systems. All you'll be forced into doing is voting for someone else. Voting for the party that says, don't worry, we're not stupid, we're not going to do it, we know it's impossible, we're not retarded like the Greens. Anyway, all public buildings and homes in Scotland will have to comply with strict new laws by 2033 to allow the country to decarbonise, which is impossible, and achieve net zero by 2045, which is also impossible. But there are fears that this will cost too much money and push some struggling households into financial ruin. No, I'd like to clarify, it will not push some struggling households into financial ruin. It will push the entire country's economy into financial ruin. People will leave Scotland, especially those with money. Those with the ability to move capital will get out because the entire economy is about to collapse into a massive hole. But that's what happens when morons are given power. Stop voting for morons. If you are someone who's too stupid to understand what's going to happen, really you should not have the vote. Anyone who votes Green, they should monitor everyone who votes and see who they vote for. And anyone who votes Green must then have their vote removed from them. They're never allowed to vote again because they're obviously too stupid to understand what they're doing. We don't want stupid people in power, but we don't want to give stupid people the vote. Anyway, in August, the Crown Office announced that it was closing the Procurator's Fiscal's base in Elgin to upgrade insulation and fit an electric heating system at a cost of £2.2 million. But it was revealed by the Sunday Mail that this cost has now increased to £3.5 million for one office. Rebel MSP Fergus Ewing has claimed that this cost shows the high price of the Bute House agreement to regular Scots. He said this is the price tag of having Green ministers in government. They impose their madcat schemes on normally sensible organisations like the Crown Office. Though why they went along with this must be independently reviewed. It's time Humza Yousaf sack these failed ministers before they do even more damage. The environmental update is expected to take up to 9 months, with the Crown Office boasting that this work to decarbonise the Procurator Fiscal's premises in Elgin will further improve our renewable energy credentials. It will do no such thing. Don't believe the bullshit. This is absolute rubbish, because what's going to happen is the place will be so cold that people will come in, like I say, with their little heaters under their desk. It will force more energy to be burnt, and most of that in Scotland is still coming from gas-fired power stations. They're about to make matters far, far worse. It's unbelievable. This is the same lot that don't want nuclear power. I don't get how these people function as human beings. My dog has got a higher IQ than these people. Put it another way. I can train my dog to do something with 3 repeats. You couldn't train Patrick Harvie with 3 repeats. He would take 10 and still wouldn't get it. Stupid. Anyway, the environmental update is expected to take 9 months, with the Crown Office boasting that this work, blah, 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 blah. The current net zero plan was estimated to cost $33 billion in 2021, but the true cost is expected to be much higher now, firstly due to inflation, mainly also due to the fact that they now are aware of the true cost of installation, because they were just doing it based on standard figures. But when you look at the cost when it comes to actually older, colder houses, That's going up massively. They didn't realise how expensive it's going to be. Latest figures, and I have seen an estimate from someone who said Scotland alone, because of the age of the houses, because of the conditions, because of the sort of, how do we put this, not just the conditions outside, but the conditions of the houses themselves, the build quality of the houses. Some of them are very old, and a lot of the old ones, especially in the remote places, are going to cost a lot more. Because it isn't just putting the heat pumps in, it's the whole of the central heating system will have to be replaced, but then also the insulation. And some of these houses don't have the ability to be insulated properly easily. They'll almost have to be a rebuild or skimming to put in an extra layer in order to get the insulation. Estimated cost, not 33 billion, just to do Scotland. And remember, this is just your homes. Just your homes. 100 billion pounds. Paid for predominantly by the people who live in the homes. Not paid for by the government. Not paid for out of central government or Westminster. No, paid for by the people of Scotland. And that's 100 billion that isn't going into any other region, any other area of the economy. What do you think is going to happen to the Scottish economy over the next 10 years? No, it will be far worse. No matter what you think, it's going to be way worse. And especially with all those with money leaving, because they won't go, I'm not going to spend that money. And they're out. They'll go, boom. What's going to happen? The whole economy goes crash and burn. People will die. The economy is gone. And all because a little dwarf with a little idea about feeling virtuous sits there and was somehow given power. Fergus Ewing is right. This guy needs to be removed. He is a danger. He is an absolute danger to people. He will kill people. It is going to cost so much money, and it is going to achieve so little. It's going to achieve nothing. And yet this is the cost. But 3.5 million for one office. There is the whole reason to abandon the plan overnight. You can't afford it. Coming up. That's another one of those things, the facts, the truth. You know, when the facts and the truth come out, it harms the SNP. 3.5 million for one office. How many offices are there? Thousands upon thousands. Never mind the cost of the homes. Thousands upon thousands just for the offices. At a time when 25,000 people a year are dying while waiting on hospital waiting lists. Where's the priorities here? Ask the people of Scotland, which is more important, saving people's lives or doing sod all for the environment? Because no matter what you do, it makes such a little difference. It makes no difference. You're destroying an entire economy. People are dying. Services cut. And for what? So Harvie can feel good. I've got an idea. Fire Harvie, and then everyone can feel good. Bye.